नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यानंदे नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण। तो अंग्रेजी में पढ़ना है, हिंदी में बोलना है, ये क्या सिस्टम है? सबको अंग्रेजी समझ में आती है? कोई समस्या नहीं है? उड़ीसा में सब पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं भाई। तो कल हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था प्रेयर्स बाय डेमिगॉड्स, गर्भ स्तुति। तो उसी श्रृंखला में आगे बढ़ते हैं। ठीक है, तो yesterday we read till text 34. So today we'll do from text 35. सत्वं च सत्वं न चेदादरितं निजं भवेत् विज्ञानमज्ञानविदापमार्जनं गुणप्रकाशैरनुमीयते भवान् प्रकाशते यस्य च येन वा गुणः। ओके, वर्ड टू वर्ड में सत्वम शुद्ध सत्व, ट्रांसेंडेंटल, न नॉट, चेत इफ, धातः ओ रिजर्वायर ऑफ ऑल एनर्जीज, cause of all causes, idam this, nijam personal, spiritual, bhavet could have been, vijnanam transcendental knowledge, ajnanabhida which drives away the ignorance of the material modes, apamarjanam completely vanquished, guna prakashaiha by the awakening of such transcendental knowledge, anumiyate becomes manifested, bhavan your lordship, prakashate exhibit, yasya whose, cha and, yena by which, va either, guna quality or intelligence. Translation: O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Please repeat after me. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless One is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. So what are the demigods saying? The demigods say that, oh Lord, your body is beyond three modes, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, and no one can understand. Had you not been there, no one could have understood the difference between transcendence and matter. So the point that we are able to understand the difference between spirit and matter is due to you. Because you are there, therefore we understand what is spirit, what is transcendence. Had you not been there, we would have missed it out. Only by your presence one can understand transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are controller of material nature. Because you are the controller, you are here, so we understand, achha, you are the controller. Otherwise, we would have thought that this material nature is the controller. So, because you are there, you are transcendental, we understand, अच्छा ये spirit है. Okay, you are, okay, this is spirit. Okay, you are the controller. Okay, we are also not matter. We are a matter, mix of matter and spirit. This body is matter, but we are spirit, but we are spirit in matter. Incompatible situation. It is like oil and water mixing together. Can oil and water mix together? Never. But here we see oil and water is mixing together. Spirit and matter is mixing. How? How can oil and matter mix? Oil and water mix. If you apply some detergent or soap, then oil and water can mix. Prabhupada says, what is this soap? The false ego. When false ego is applied to the soul, then the soul can mix with matter. Because then the soul will think, I am also matter. Aham mameti. I am spirit soul, but I think I am matter. Why? Because of the presence of false ego. So it is the false ego which acts like the sticking medium. Two immiscible things can mix with the help of this sticking medium. So that medium is false ego. So if we get rid of false ego, we will get rid of the body also. So ultimately, what are we fighting out? We are fighting out false ego. So the demigods are saying, your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced. Okay, so we can understand you only by presence of your form. So when we see your form, then we can understand you. So in order to understand you, we need your form. Which means in order to understand Krishna, we need his personal form. Otherwise we can't understand him. Otherwise we will take him to be some abstract concept. Some light there, out there, somewhere. Something which is like adbhut, wonderful, but what it is I can't define it. Prior to coming to Srila Prabhupada's teachings, I would read a lot of spiritual books. And the more I read it, the more confused I got. Because, अरे क्या बोल रहे हो? What are you trying to tell me? It confused me even more. वो कुछ है, कुछ अजीब है, कुछ बढ़िया है, कुछ ऐसा है कि हम नहीं समझ सकते उसको. अरे तो जब समझ नहीं सकते तो लिख क्या रहे हो? They are themselves confused and they want to confuse you also. So, let us see what Prabhupada says. Purport. It is said, Tarigunda Vishaya Veda Nistarigunda Bhavarjana. Unless one is situated in transcendence, one cannot understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-29, Athapi te deva pajambujadvaya prasaduleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi chiran vichidvan. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can one understand Him. Those who are in the modes of material nature, although speculating for thousands of years, cannot understand Him. See, it is like laws of physics. Are you students of science? All of us? Are we students of science? Okay, we have read some science. Somewhat, here and there. So, Newtonian mechanics, it applies to the macro world. Can we apply the laws of Newton to the micro world? No. You need a different physics altogether. That is known as quantum mechanics. So, no matter how carefully, properly, repeatedly you apply the laws of Newton to micro world, is it going to work? No. So, similarly, No matter how much we are going to speculate for thousands of years, we will never be able to understand transcendence, because that is not the method. That is what he is saying. The Lord has innumerable forms, Rama, Dimurti, Shukala, Niyamena, Tishthan, and unless these forms, such as Lord Ramachandra, Nrsimhadev, Krishna, and Balaram, were transcendental, how could they be worshipped by devotees since time immemorial? Bhaktyamam vijanati yavan yascha asmita. Devotees who awaken their transcendental nature in the presence of the Lord and who follow the rules and regulations of devotional service can understand Lord Krishna. Okay, so awaken transcendental knowledge, follow rules and regulations, understand Krishna. Prabhupada has given the technique. What is the technique to understand Krishna? Awaken devotional service. It is in dormant state, or awaken transcendental knowledge, follow the rules of bhakti, and understand Krishna. A very, very practical tip. Lord Ramachandra and other incarnations who are not of this material world but who come from the spiritual world for the benefit of the people in general. If one does not take to this process, one imagines or manufactures some form of God according to material qualities and can never awaken a real understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Bhaktyamam Janati Yavan Vichasmi Tatvataha signify that unless one worships the Lord according to the regulative devotional principles, one cannot awaken the transcendental nature. So basically nothing is concocted. Everything, there is a manual, there is a code, there is a standard protocol, procedure, you follow it and bhakti will be awakened. Deity worship, even in the absence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, awakens the transcendental nature of the devotee, who thus becomes increasingly attached to the Lord's lotus feet. The appearance of Krishna is the answer to all imaginative iconography of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone imagines the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his mode of material nature. In the Brahma Samhita it is said that the Lord is the oldest personality. Therefore, a section of religionists imagine that God must be very old and therefore they depict a form of the Lord like a very old man. This is the Western concept. Western, Abrahamic religions. Abrahamic religions always portray God as a grand old man. But that is not true. But in the same Brahma Samhita that is contradicted. Although he is the oldest of all living entities, he has his eternal form as a fresh youth. The exact word used in this connection in the Srimad Bhagavatam are Vijnanam, Ajnanam, Bhidapamarjanam. Vijnana means transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Personality. Vijnana was also experienced knowledge. Transcendental knowledge has to be accepted by the descending process of disciplic succession as Brahma presents the knowledge of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is Vijnana as realized by Brahma's transcendental experience, and in that way he presented the form and the pastimes of Krishna in the transcendental abode. Ajnana Bhida means that which can match all kinds of speculation. In ignorance, people are imagining the form of the Lord. Sometimes he has no form and sometimes he has form according to their different imaginations. But the presentation of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita is Vijnanam, scientific. Experienced knowledge given by Lord Brahma and accepted by Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. Shri Krishna's form, Shri Krishna's fruit, Krishna's color, everything is reality. Here it is said that this Vijnanam is always defeating all kinds of speculative knowledge. Therefore, the devotees prayed, without your appearing as Krishna, as you are, neither Ajnana Veda, the nations of speculative knowledge, nor Vijnana would be realized. Okay. So basically, when you appear, we understand both Ajnana and Vijnana. See, without Krishna's presence, we cannot even understand what is Ajnana. We are in Ajnana, but we don't even realize that is Ajnana and forget about Jnana or Vijnana. So without Krishna's presence, we are in total Ajnana, complete blindness. We are blind and on top of it, we don't know that we are blind. At least we get to know that we are blind. Then we start to search for light. Where is light? Where is knowledge? And then we come across Krishna and then we understand, Acha, this is Gyan. Then we start to see. Eventually we realize that earlier I was blind. Okay, Ajnana Bheda Pumarjanam, by your presence, the speculative knowledge of ignorance will be vanquished and the real experienced knowledge of authorities like Lord Brahma will be established. Men influenced by the three modes of material nature imagine their own God according to the modes of material nature. In this way, God is presented in various ways, but your appearance will establish what the real form of God is. The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is to think that when the incarnation of God comes, he accepts a form of matter in the mode of goodness. Actually, this is Mayavad. This is the essence of Mayavad. Prabhupada is teaching Mayavad. What is Mayavad? Brahma covered by a mode of ignorance. Mode of goodness. That is incarnations. Brahma transformed under the influence of mode of goodness is Devata. How is it possible here? How can Brahma, if Brahma is Brahma, if he is the supreme controller, if he is the supreme, whether you say controller or not, then how can he come under the influence of someone else? Even by very definition, it's an oxymoron. It's not possible. Contradictory. Actually, the form of Krishna or Narayan is transcendental to any material idea. Even the greatest impersonalist Shankaracharya has admitted, Narayana Paro Avyakta, the material creation is caused by the Avyakta, the impersonal manifestation of matter, or the non-phenomenal total reservoir of matter. What is phenomena? Phenomenal world. Phenomenal world means Drishti Gochar, that which is visible or perceivable. Non-phenomenal means which is not perceivable by our senses. Quite philosophical. Prabhupada says the non-phenomenal total reservoir of matter, and Krishna is transcendental to that material conception. This is expressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Shuddha Sattva or transcendental. The Lord does not belong to the material mode of goodness, for he is above the position of material goodness. He belongs to the transcendental eternal status of bliss and knowledge. Dear Lord, the demigod spirit, when you appear in your different incarnations, you take different names and forms according to different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shyam Sundara because of your transcendental beauty. Shyama means blackish, yet they say that you are the most beautiful, more beautiful than thousands of cupids. Kandar Pakotika Maniya, although you appear in a color which is compared to that of a blackish cloud, you are the transcendental absolute, and therefore your beauty is many, many times more attractive than the delicate body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Giridhari because you lifted the hill known as Govardhana. You are sometimes called Nanda Nandan or Vasudev or Devaki Nandan because you appear as the son of Maharaj Nanda or Devaki or Vasudev. Impersonalists think that you may name your many names or forms are according to the particular type of work and quality because they accept you from the position of a material observer. So impersonalist thinks why these names are there because they think you are material observer, you are matter, nothing else. Our dear Lord, the way of understanding is not to study your absolute nature, form and activities by mental speculation. One must engage himself in devotional service, then one can understand your absolute nature and your transcendental forms, name and quality. Actually, only a person who has a little taste for service of your lotus feet can understand your transcendental nature or form and quality. So what is the way to understand Krishna? Service. Others may go on speculating for millions of years, but it is not possible for them to understand even a single part of your actual position. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the non-devotees because there is a curtain of Yoga Maya which covers Krishna's actual features. As confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita 7.2, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. The Lord says, I am not exposed to anyone and everyone. When Krishna came, he was actually present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and everyone saw him. But not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. Because foolish mudhas do not awaken their spiritual nature, they do not understand Krishna or Rama. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashakam. Even big academic scholars, not considering the endeavors of the acharyas who have recommended devotional service in many elaborate commentaries and notes, think that Krishna is fictitious. This is due to a lack of transcendental knowledge and a failure to awaken Krishna consciousness. One should have the common sense to ask why, if Krishna or Rama were fictitious, stalwart scholars like Sridhar Swami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Veera Raghava, Vijay Dhwaja, Vallabhacharya, and many other recognized acharyas would spend so much time to write about Krishna in notes and commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. So if he is not God, why would one waste time? Why are we wasting our time? If Krishna is not God, we are not wasting our time, we are investing. How can you give your life to something which is imaginary? If you don't reap any benefits, why would you invest your time, energy and efforts in that? So unless and until you feel some reciprocation, how can you do it? So someone might say, but there are people who give their lives for the country. There are people who give their lives for society, social work. But you see what happens to them if they are really sincere in their endeavors. Over a period of time they become frustrated. Because these things do not really satisfy the heart. They are kind of, it becomes hackneyed. It becomes typed. And more or less they do it as a ritual. Even if they are on a mission, even if they do it, even if they help people in a material sense, over a period of time they see that, oh, I helped this person so much and now he is not even picking up my phone, not even responding to me, he is not telling me anything, he is doing his own thing. See how much frustration will it generate. Few days ago there was a student who came, he is a teacher, who came and then he was discussing with Maharaj. That Maharaj, I helped this student so much. I come from a very poor background and now I have money and so I wanted to help these students and I helped them and now they couldn't make it, I helped them so much, I taught them, I invested money so that they could get admission to prestigious colleges and develop a very good flourishing career and they didn't make it. And he was in tears. And Maharaj said, this is the beginning of your frustration. Because had they cleared their examinations and got to those top-notch places, and later on, do you expect that they would have shared everything with you? Not necessarily. Because you helped them, okay, they will have some gratitude, but will that continue forever? Your frustration is only going to increase. Because over a period of time, they will do their own thing and they will not inform you about everything, and then you will feel, due to me, he or she has reached this place and now they are not even telling me what is happening in their lives. Why do you want to become the controller of their lives? That was the essence of what he told. So basically, if we help someone materially, it doesn't really satisfy our hearts. And someone will have some gratitude, that's okay, but how long and for how many years and to what degree and what intensity? Ultimately, it is not satisfying. So, even the one who did the favor is not satisfied, even the one who received the favor is not satisfied. Then, what is the point in indulging in all these activities? It doesn't serve any purpose. So, what is the best approach? Help people spiritually. Even if they don't respond, even if they don't harness or culture that feeling of gratitude, at least you are satisfied. Okay, I did something for someone. Some help. At least I could bring them to the shelter of Krishna. Now whether they accept it or not is a different thing. You can bring the well to the horse, but you can't make it drink the water. So similarly, we can help people and we must help people. But the essence of it should be spiritual support. Not that we get caught up with helping them materially so much and no, all these things are also required. Yes, they are required to a certain degree. Yes, we are acknowledging the fact they are needed. But we can't just get caught up with that. Like there was a preacher who would give motivational classes to his group. And he never talked about matter, spirit, this and that. Just 2, 3, 4 years he continued with motivational classes. And then slowly he started giving lectures about soul and nature and transcendence. And then his group was finished. Because for 3-4 years he cultivated them motivationally, motivating them this and that, and then he gave the actual substance. It was too late. And all of them left and he became frustrated. Doesn't it happen? It happens. I've seen with some preachers. Best approach is from day one, you start giving them samples of what it is all about. Otherwise, you will be frustrated and he will be frustrated. He or she will waste his or her time and we will waste our time. So, what is the best approach? Give them samples. Make it clear. If not 100%, 10%, 5%, 1%, start showing them glimpses of the spiritual world from day one. And over a period of time, to the degree they are surrendered and to the degree they advance, you can open up more. Because if we reveal our actual philosophy after very late, it becomes too late, it becomes too much for the person to take in. He is not prepared mentally, spiritually, maybe he doesn't want it at all, and all this time we are wasting our time and their time. So rather than that, to some degree we should reveal it and keep revealing more and more like we do. And then we will get sincere, serious people who really want to commit themselves to spiritual life.
Considering fiction position, we give the glimpse of especially what they consider fiction, they are not able to relate it.
Yeah, so we have to first of all establish the authority of scriptures, of sadhus. So we have to do it scientifically. Not that day one we start giving them classes on Garbhastuti. They are meant for seasoned practitioners. But first of all, we establish scientifically, logically the authority of Vedas, descending process, the dynamics of it, the way to understand or gain knowledge, and all that required paraphernalia. So first of all we do that, and then one who is able to take it, or one who is ready to accept it, receive it, we continue with them. But if we try the other approach, first we give them all this and then we give them the basics, no. Let us first impart the basic knowledge and then they can build up upon it. Okay, 7:30 already. 10 minutes for questions.
What all constitutes सेवा? भक्ति में सेवा इसमें क्या क्या आता है?
सब कुछ आता है, जो भी हम यहाँ करते हैं सभी सेवा है. नाम सेवा, प्रसाद सेवा, भी सेवा. See, basically we can employ 3 things. BMW. Yesterday I saw a BMW in Bhubaneswar for the first time. You want a BMW? Who wants a BMW? Okay, who has a BMW? We have BMW, body, mind and words. So we employ all the 3, body, mind and words in Krishna service.
Body, mind and
Words. Kaya, mana, vakya. Whatever furthers the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement, that will be considered a seva. But of course it should be done in consultation with someone, with someone's authority. Because we are doing seva, but it should make some sense. It should not be a disservice. So it should be, that's common sense. So we do it under someone's authority and in discussion with what is needed at the moment. We may be good at something, but that may not be needed for the time being. For the time being, we might need some different kind of support. So we do that. We somehow pool our resources to get that support. And once we reach the next stage, wherein maybe we can give our kind of support, what we are an expert at. So it depends on the need of the project. It depends on the need of the kind of preaching endeavor we are involved in.
How can we realize that we are getting kripa in our spiritual path? What are the symptoms of getting kripa?
That taste for hearing will increase. We will become more interested in hearing, chanting. We will relish it actually. So that will happen only when we serve the lotus feet of great souls, pure souls. What is that verse? First canto, second chapter. हाँ. No, not that. Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevana. So, Mahat Seva, when we do Mahat Seva, then the taste for hearing, chanting increases. That is simple. That is one thing. Another thing is whether we are advancing or not, how do we understand whether Krishna is satisfied or not. So, simple formula. Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasada. If the representative of Krishna is satisfied with me, Krishna is satisfied. That is the easiest. If devotees are happy with me, Krishna is happy. Of course, there are devotees in general, and then there are certain devotees we report to, we discuss with, or we take guidance from. So, in particular, they should be satisfied. If you give a feast, everyone will be satisfied. That's easy. That's like generic. That's good. You get the kripa. But then if you want to progress more specifically, then the ones who are guiding you, so they should be satisfied. And of course, if we have access to the spiritual master, they are temple authorities, if they are satisfied, in general, yeah. What is that verse? Take out that verse. Syan Mahat Seva Vipra, the one prior to it, Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. शुश्रूषो शब्दधानस्य वासुदेव कथारुचि स्यान महत सेवा विप्रा पुण्य तीर्थ निशान. What is the one prior to it? Before it? यद अनुध्यासना युक्ता कर्मग्रंथि निबंधनम छिन्नन्ति कोदास्तस्य कोन कुर्यात् कथारम. The one after it? नहीं, पुण्य तीर्थ निशानात के बाद वाला. उसके बाद श्रृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तन विद्यंतो अवधरणे विधनोति सुरक्षता. So basically, by serving the devotees, by serving the great souls, great service is rendered, and we increase the taste for hearing, reading, chanting, absorbing Krishna. Say it loudly.
How can we serve great souls?
By serving their instructions.
By serving their
Instructions. You follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, you will be served. That is the way to serve. Vani Seva. We have his Vani. Now whatever he writes, we do it. So that is service to his instructions. How can we find great souls? Come to ISKCON. There are many great souls here. Yeah, really. See, again, Prabhupada says it is like ripe mango and green mango. So there are green mangoes and eventually they will ripen. So they may not be great today, but they might become great tomorrow. That's very much possible. It happens. Again, a bit louder. This fan is not allowing me to hear.
Similar way to green mango and
can we treat green mango and yellow mango similarly?
No,
Same way?
no. सकल सम्मान करिते शक्ति देवनाथ जता जाता गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो यही दासे we heard that bhajan. We can't treat everyone equally. Everyone is different. How can you treat them equally? That is a nonsense idea. Treat everyone equally. No, fair treatment is the thing. You treat everyone fairly. Now, depending on the person's position, we have to deal with them accordingly. So that is fair treatment. Equal treatment is a misnomer. How can you treat everyone equally? Can you treat your wife and your mother in the same way? It will be a chaos. No, they are not equal, no? They are different. So fair treatment is the right concept.
How can we define devotee? What is the definition of devotee? What are the qualities of a devotee?
Definition of a devotee. Bolo. What is the definition of a devotee? Huh? Surrender unto Krishna.
Achha. But what doesn't, can I consider myself a devotee? What is the typical characteristic of a devotee?
See, there are different stages in devotion. Like there is a neophyte devotee, then there is a devotee in the intermediate stage, then there is an advanced devotee. So all of them are defined in the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, Nivi Maharaja's questions. 11 to 41, 42, 43, like that, those series. Arche Shiladi, Guru Shunarmatir, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. So they are kind of neophyte devotees who consider only Krishna to be Krishna. Or even like, okay, Krishna is there but I don't care about the devotees. They are kind of neophyte devotees. Then those who are more advanced, they can see Krishna, his devotees, they can relate to them accordingly. Ishwar Tadadineshu, Balisheshu. Those three verses, check out those three verses, 11 to 11th canto, 2nd chapter.
The devotee should not see anything as being separate from Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So there are three verses
Yes.
in continuation, 41, 42, 43, like that. Or 43, 44, 45, whatever it is. I mean, those.
40, 41. 11.2.41.
What is the verse?
Kham Vayu Agni Salilam.
No, not this. Next.
Bhakti Pareshan.
Next.
Iti Achyutam Girim Bhajato.
No, next.
Sri Raju Vacha Atha Bhagavatam Kruta Yat Dharma Yat Drashu Yatna Yatha Chara Sri Yat Sute Yai Vikhe Bhagavad Priya.
Okay, you find out this verse. Ishwar Tadadineshu, Balisheshu. The one prior to it and the one after it. They are defining the three kinds of devotees.
तो जिसके बाद
इसके बाद वाली है.
45.
What is the verse?
श्री
हवीर वाचा. This is the highest devotee. Sarva Bhuteshu ya Pashyat Bhagavad Bhavanam Then?
Bhutani Bhagavati Atmani Esa
Bhagavatottama. What is the translation?
Sri Havir says, the most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna consequently
Sri Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord.
Okay, the verse again.
Pardon?
Verse, that same verse.
Shri Hari Vacha Sarva Bhuteshu.
Sarva Bhuteshu ya Pashyat Bhagavad Bhavanam. This is the highest devotee. Second, next verse is Ishware Tadadineshu Balisheshu Tishatsu. So, Prem Maitri Kripa Apeksha Yah Kurati Sa Madhyama. So, Madhyamadikari, intermediate devotee. So, he sees Krishna and loves Krishna. He sees his devotees and he makes friendship with his devotees. And he sees the innocent and he tries to preach to them. And he sees the envious and he tries to stay at a distance from them. That's how he treats 4 levels of people. And then finally, neophyte devotee. Archayameva Hariye Pujamya Shraddhayate Na Channeshu Svabhakta Prakrita Smita. So Prakrita Bhakta, means neophyte, ekdam beginner. 11 to 45 to 47. है ना.
ये फाइट कर रहा है, ये फाइट कर रहा है.
अर्चायाम एव हरे पूजायाम यद्य सेहते न तद भक्तेषु चान्यषु सभक्त प्राकृतस्म.
The devotee who faithfully engages in the worship of the deity in the temple but does not behave properly toward other devotees
Yeah.
or people in general is called a
Prakrita Bhakta.
A materialistic devotee and is considered to be in the lowest position.
हाँ, प्रकृत नहीं, प्राकृत. So basically we see this in temples. Sometimes there are classes going on there. There are visitors who want to see, and some of them, when they see such a big crowd, so from there itself they will offer pranams and go back. But then there are other kind of stubborn kind of people. They will come and they will cross all their way, go to the deity, not caring about anyone, whether they are putting their foot on someone or they are in their own world. So these are kind of prakrita bhaktas. They don't care about devotees. They only care about deities.
Because I heard in a class that neophyte devotees is one of two fights.
New fight, new kind of fight every day. They fight on new topics every day. Hey, why did you take my gamcha here? Why did you put it there? Why did you take my japmala? Why will I not get prasad at this time? I want prasad right now. So they are fighting on new topics every day. New fight. Okay, 7:45 already.
The ISKCON after coming to ISKCON, like major services regarding the management part. So I have explained that doing management hardens your heart, mind. So how can we overcome that? Because probably you are temple president, so I can guide us from
My heart is most hard. It's hard like stone. By Krishna Katha. What else? See, when we stay together, there is a need for organizing the whole arrangement. If it is not organized, it's all haphazard, then you are not going to achieve anything. And it will disturb and destroy the culture and the mood and everything. So things have to be properly organized. There has to be certain level of order, homogeneity also to certain degree, and there should be a proper procedure, a way to do things. So there has to be someone who has to take this service. So first thing is we should see it as service, and of course we have to do management, but we should also indulge in Krishna Katha. So it's like that that potato peeling machine. You've seen that with perforated cylinder, and you put all the potatoes there, and it rotates. And when it rotates, the potatoes, they crush each other and they stick, and due to the friction the skin comes out, and eventually the potatoes will make a mesh, potato mesh there inside. So unless and until you pour water from the top, all the skins will go out, will be washed away, and the potatoes will not crush or destroy each other. So we need to stay with each other, and that is the only way how we get rid of our anarthas. But at the same time, we should do the lubrication of Krishna Katha. Otherwise, we will destroy each other. Without Krishna Katha, we are going to commit murders. I mean, really. So we need to do Krishna Katha, a lot of Krishna Katha. So that will act as the lubricant, and one thing in management is one should not be judgmental. It depends on one's personal nature also, but at times we tend to become judgmental and we feel the urgency to take action right there, then and there, khatam kar do isko abhi, so it becomes something like that. It's a tendency because management means things will keep coming on. It's kind of unlimited. 24 hours you are on duty, there is no, I mean, even if you go to the bathroom, still you are a temple president. So people don't, or they stop relating with you as a person to a certain degree. Like, especially it happens with brahmacharis or sannyasis, because we are in that institutional sphere all the time. For those who are staying at home, when you get out of this setting, you go to home, you are a family man, you have your family, so you are relaxed kind of out of that. Still, phone calls will come all the time, and you have to remember that dynamic. But at least you are at your home, you are at peace. I mean, from that point of view, when you stay inside, the 24 hours you begin to identify with that, because wherever you go, no matter whatever you do, even if you joke with someone, they take it as Achha, just because you are president, you will joke with me. I mean, they take it otherwise. So, at times it is overwhelming, kind of. And I am also a person, you behave with me like a person, but then they will start relating all that anyaya that you did with them for the past so much time, and it kind of, I mean, one has to be really stable and peaceful and cool-minded to deal with them, and it's kind of difficult. Okay, thank you. Very good. So at times it is difficult, but it is needed, because otherwise it's a preaching movement. How will we grow, and how will things go on, and what will we achieve? So if we don't organize, then it's a mess. And it will become a joint mess. If you don't do Krishna Katha, it is mess. And they call it mess, food mess, student mess. It's a mess. Because there is no Krishna Katha. Everyone is doing their thing, their own thing. So we need to be organized. And it is the job of a Kshatriya to deal and to organize. So some Kshatriya nature is required. Basically, one should be ready to deal with disputes. So one who likes to solve and settle disputes, they are the best managers. Because you need that kind of nature, dynamic, ready to take decisions, ready to turn the course if needed. At times you have to make a truce also. So even that skill is required. I mean, but the basic thing of leadership is one who is leader in Shravanam Kirtanam. Prabhupada says he is a real leader. So one should lead by example in Shravan Kirtan. So that way people in general, they will follow. And we can have meetings, ISKCON, sit with them, discuss that. Ultimately, if you don't organize, then what is going to happen? Okay, let us discuss. What are we going to do? Okay. Anything else? Should we stop? ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.